So today we're going to be looking at the Assassin's Creed Shadows trailer, and then at the end we're going to address some of the controversial statements that have been said on it so far. So let's check this out. I've actually never seen this before, so this is like my brand new reaction.
Who are you? Who do you serve?
All I have ever known in my life, our land, our customs.
Okay, so it's in Japan.
Burns in the name of unification.
Oh, it's a girl protagonist.
You are still a frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea. The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all
Yasuke?
come from the same river. Greed.
That is Yasuke.
Power. Vengeance.
Woo. That looks good though. I can't lie, that does look good.
Will you continue down that river? Or choose another path beyond what we see?
And we must look for it together. We must learn to trust, rebuild.
And follow the blade.
I will admit, this does look very good. Woo. That is fire. And this is coming from someone who historically loves Neo games, top tier combat, but this looks good. I know it's a trailer, but this does look really good.
I said, who do you serve?
Ooh.
We are the shadows.
Better watch your back.
The light.
Alright, I can't lie, that was pretty fire. That was pretty fire. So let's address some of these controversial statements, or more of complaints. I've never really seen complaints like this though, because in all reality, this makes no sense. A lot of people have been complaining, and they've been basically saying that it's not historically accurate, for one, and the other thing that they've been saying is like, two, why would you put a black man in Japan? One, Assassin's Creed has been known to always exaggerate historical figures. They do this in every series. This isn't just something just for this. And two, Yasuke did exist in real life. Now, a lot of people were upset and complaining and saying that there is no Japanese protagonist, which makes no sense because they literally put the Japanese woman on the cover in front of Yasuke. So maybe if you wanted a Japanese male protagonist, then yeah, okay, then I see what you're talking about. But also, this is a real person So I don't really understand that. Okay, so the third complaint that I keep hearing a lot is that Yasuke was a retainer and not a samurai. Now, a easy Google search will easily show you that the retainers did the same work, they did the same military duties as a samurai, and he was actually held in high regards by his lord, and he served his lord all the way up until his last battle. So, how this doesn't qualify as a samurai, I'm not necessarily sure. Okay, so fifth, people keep saying, how would you feel if it was a white protagonist in Africa? Basically, they're just saying that for each area, they want it to be someone of that descent, which that is understandable, but also at the same time, you guys have to remember in Neo 1, William was a Irish sailor who became a samurai and no one had a complaint about it. And the craziest part was Yasuke was actually a boss in that game, and yet no one had a complaint. Everyone loved the game. Everyone kind of had fun. People played it. Tarzan was also a white male in Africa. No one had a complaint about this. And then third, you would have another game where it's like people try to say that Assassin's Creed keeps this whole descent thing all the way consistent through titles, but what about when you get to like Assassin's Creed Black Flag? And like I said earlier, Assassin's Creed always kind of exaggerates on historical figures, but they even have times where you're doing stuff like fighting gods. So it's like, what are we really talking about here? Like people are going to try to make it seem like this is just something far fetched, but I think in reality, I think you guys are just kind of showing your true colors. I think the game looked pretty good, to be honest. I think it looked pretty good. It's just the trailer, but for the trailer, it looked pretty good. You guys have to remember, it's Assassin's Creed. Usually their trailers look a lot better than the actual gameplay. But to me, I think from what we saw, I think it's something to keep an eye out for. But I think the way how people are dismissing it, I do think that it is a little crazy. And I think it's mainly because it's a black protagonist. I'm just going to call it like it is. Maybe people can turn and tell me that I'm wrong, but when it was Neo, no one had a problem. When it was like Tom Cruise being like a white samurai in The Last Samurai, no one necessarily had a problem. But for some odd reason, for this one, who was a real person, now it's a problem. So you guys can do what you will with that information. I'm out.